kwa sababu pesa ile utaomba, utapewa kidogo, upewe vile unataka. Yenyewe ukipewa tena unafuata after 2 weeks unafuata ulipe, pesa utalipa utazitoa wapi? Niliomba nikapewa 500 after 2 weeks na itisho hiyo 500 na mimi mwenyewe sina. Niliomba hiyo hustler fund nisaidie, hakuna chochote.
Nilichukua 500 hustler fund, nililipa. Basi sijajaribu tena, lakini wako sawa, wanasaidia.
Kweli tuna imani nayo, lakini limit yake wametukazia sana kwa limit.
They started giving small amounts. The minimum amount initially ilikuwa 500. So with the current economy, 500 is ni pesa kidogo sana, because within 2 weeks you're supposed to pay back. So which business can you do with 500? Within 2 weeks you imekupea profit na ikupe the amount to pay back.
So kama mimi mfanyabiashara ukinipatia shilingi 500 hata iwezi nunua kitu. Sasa kama hizi kuku ambazo nimenunua kama leo, nimenunua almost 700 to 800. So ukinipatia 500 hata kuku moja iwezi. So hiyo pesa mimi kama ningeulizwa ingeweza kupeana pesa mzuri ambayo inaweza saidia mfanyabiashara.
Ilikumbwa na ufisadi. Wengine wanapewa nyingi, wengine wanapewa kidogo. Ningesema hiyo hustler fund isaidie.
Walikuwa wanasema hiyo pesa ambayo tuna save watakuwa wanatupea interest. Walifika mahali wakaondoa hustler fund wakakuwekea zero limit. Swali ni je, hiyo interest kwa nini haitupeagi update mpaka leo?
The last speaker is who I want us to concentrate on. One of the things that the Office of the Auditor General highlighted was a failure to disclose interest and from customer savings, and it clearly resonates on the ground as well. What's happening?
So, back. Yes. This hustler fund product is a very unique product, even in the manner in which it is being operated. This is a prototype. It's the first product of this nature that we are having in our economy. And it's a revolutionary product because of how it's leveraging on the existing infrastructure from the private sector. Right. So why did we come together? I see, first of all, they're saying, okay, 500 is kidogo.
Yes.
But Hustler Fund, we have aspiration to come up with many more products.
Right.
So the personal loan, and we called it personal loan. And I don't know if Kenyans understand what is a personal loan. Personal loan is not necessarily for business.
Right.
We don't use the scoring criteria, the one that you can use on business, looking at the viability of business and stuff, to give you that loan. We gave you because they are saying it's only 500, but these are same Kenyans who have been borrowing on digital platform, and you know them. I don't want to mention them.
Right.
And they can borrow as little as even 200. When we sat down with all these sector players, the telcos and the banks, they told us the average loan ticket size in the digital platform, the Fuliza, the whatever, all those ones, was about 200 shillings.
Right.
So people Fuliza even up to 100 bob, and it's happening.
Just to cut in a little bit, this loan was meant to ensure that Kenyans, run their businesses. They're telling you 500 is not enough.
So listen, this loan was meant to support you to build up your credit score,
right,
so that becomes your entry point to accessing higher loan,
right, limit
products, because majority of Kenyans were being predated upon by digital lenders who now are saying, because you don't have security, you have to take this loan at a higher interest rate. And many of them could not do any sensible business or any sensible activity out of that. I'll give you an example, right, just on that. If you go to Kikomba around that time, you'll find a mama mboga goes to Kikomba at 5 in the morning,
right,
gets another person who deals in money, and anampatia 1,000, and tells her, leave your ID. Then in the evening, you return 1,100. So that's already 10% per day. That was predatory. Right. So when people say, but over and above, it was to help us now come up with a national credit score that will give every Kenyans a key to access other loans. And it's not just that. So personal loan builds your credit score. Now that credit score will now put you to the group product.
Right.
What is so we have the second product is the group products.
Right.
You come together jointly, probably as 10 members, because the minimum is 10 members. So my credit score, for example, gives me, Susan, a loan limit of, let's say, 12,000 at this point because we enhance, and someone else gets 12,000. If you are like 10 members and you wanted to borrow about 100,000,
right,
you can borrow.
Right.
Then we have a third product, which is SME, which we are now working on. And today I can tell you, we have Kenyans who started off with 500 shillings and they are borrowing 50,000 because they've been able to demonstrate a good borrowing behavior. They borrow when they have a purpose and they repay within the credit period of 14 days, or they can roll over so that then they pay with an enhanced interest of 9.5% per annum, which is prorated daily, and then they have been growing. So what we were determining here was a behavioral thing that we are working out so that each and every Kenyans, especially the 8 million Kenyans, remember, we also found at the beginning of this administration, we had about 8 million Kenyans who are in CRB. So these 8 million Kenyans, once you are in CRB, you are kind of condemned, you cannot borrow, and whoever you had borrowed earlier and probably felt you defaulted and reported you to CRB and you are listed negatively, cannot give you a second chance to repair your credit. So we said, Kenyans, they are our responsibility. We need to enable them to have ability to access credit. We will put in fund as the government to give them a second chance to repair their credit. And even those ones who are not in CRB,
right,
who are majority of Kenyans, by borrowing, they start building a credit reputation which can now be believed and be trusted in the credit market outside there.
Right, Susan, we're on a time crunch, so I think we have like a minute. Maybe if we could just address the issue that I had pointed out.
Of the interest.
The customer savings issue, the interest. The people are saying they're not seeing the interest accruing up. The OAG is saying they have seen a failure to disclose interest and from customer savings. What's happening?
So by the time when, during the audit review period, which the year that ended, June 30, 2023, we were still negotiating the interest with those that are service providers in that regard. So by December 1st, from December 1st, after the following the anniversary, we agreed on how much the Hustler Fund beneficiary savings should earn. And we negotiated a rate of the T-bills -3. So at any given time, when the T-bill, let's say, is 15%, then the Hustler Fund savings will accrue an interest of, let's say, 12%.
Is that accessed by...
So what we did, yes, we credited. So what we did, we backdated up to November 22/30th when we did the first disbursement. So what I want to tell our good friends,
yes,
is that when we opened up for the saving and we say you can withdraw, those savings were credited. So we were able to credit the interest rates.
Right.
But again, because now it is worked out around the T-bill -3, the investor, or rather the fund administrator who was now supporting us in investing that interest, because the money cannot just sit there. We worked out how much money had been saved. So every individual beneficiaries got to be topped up with the interest.
So
and this will happen again.
Now?
So we agreed every year, at the end of every year, we'll be topping up the interest.
So they will see it at the end of the year?
Yeah, they will see it at the end of the year.
Right.
It will be topped up, your interest rates, and especially those who chooses now to lock down, they will be topped up. And every Hustler Fund beneficiary account is there. can be traceable, and even the money we are saying was lent out in default and everything is traceable.
All
so
right.
I want just to assure Kenyans that there is no money. Allow me back also because the late Justice Majanja has been a household name to us all Kenyans, because, and I want to take this opportunity also just to relay my condolence and say that Kenya has actually lost. We've lost a leader in the legal sector, and I think many young people were looking up to him also, because his career has actually been progressing well. You know, he has handled so many cases, so many landmark cases, and I think many Kenyans have not had issues with his judgment. And so to the family, we say pole.
Our sincerest condolences from TV47 as well. This has been The Marketplace. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Let's continue engaging on social media, but for now, it's good night from me. Have yourselves a very lovely Wednesday and Thursday tomorrow. Good night.